Hey everybody, welcome to Party Tits! Hello!
Yay.
Hello.
Party season! Hello, welcome back. Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us again this week. So this week is our political party, and I'm going to be your host, Ailish, and with me is I'm going to introduce I'm going to introduce Ben. He's a baton twirling champion, a silver medalist in an Irish ukulele competition, and is a L'Oreal hair model. It's Ben Birth, everybody.
Hello, thank you. That is much better than Keego's introduction from last week, where I had the voice that could make furniture pregnant. I much prefer to be a L'Oreal model that twirls batons. It feels like there's a lot on that CV. I feel like I can get on with that.
You can get on that bandwagon.
Yeah,
totally. And I like your button, Ben.
Thanks very much. I decided to. Well, so I decided because it's political. I thought I'd dress up either like a politician or like a political commentator. Give it the dress, the occasion that these global events deserve.
Nice. I'm all about it.
But as I was getting changed and I went into the living room and my girlfriend was like, "So what's the theme of the party? Why are you dressed as a schoolboy?" And I was like, okay. So just the tie and okay. So that's why I had to hastily make a little badge for my, like one of those kind of 1960s, kiss a baby, get a badge kind of badges. No, it doesn't work like that. It's kissing the baby is what the politicians let's not offer rewards to people just randomly kissing children in the street. Welcome to InfoWars with me, Ben Brown.
And joining us is a veteran wrestler. He plays the tambourine in his spare time while he reads to deaf children. It's Keego.
Hello. Wow, there's a lot of information in a short period of time there. That's
absolutely.
Most of that is behind a paywall. So hello, everybody.
I feel like reading to deaf children should have got more than it got. Which
thank you.
That took a while. Yeah, I was like,
a lot of children going.
How do you read to deaf children? It's like through sign language
Practice.
while also playing the tambourine. Yes, everybody, welcome back. We are so happy. Well, thank you all for joining us last week and the week before. We are on episode 3. Fuck in hell, that is crazy. This is becoming a thing. So we're delighted that you guys are taking time out of your week to join us. And again, thanks for. Sorry. So I'm also going to say that everyone who watched the last show, thank you. But also write in the comments where you're watching from. Because it's the political party. We're going to ask some things about okay, if you're from the UK, we're going to jump into their political system. We're from the US, we'll give you guys a bit of a break. If you're from Ireland, yeah, we got some Irish people here, and we'll talk about the shit show that is our country. And also, we want to say thank you for those who donated last week to our coffee channel or our coffee link. So if you guys want to donate again, get your tips out for the lads. We'd really appreciate it. So thank you.
We do dance a line of, "Are these okay?" Because it was "Don't let your tits dangle in the breeze" last time.
Yeah.
And today it's "Get your tips out for the lads." It's like, is this okay?
Next week it's just the tip, and then it's our coffee link.
I think episode 1 was "Support your tits." Your tits will as in us. The tits were us, but you know what,
We're
Ben? If you got to
creative.
explain the joke, then it isn't a joke.
Is it funny? So yes, thank you all so much for donating last week and in our first week. And if you want to donate, we'd really appreciate it. So before we get started on what are we drinking? Can we just get the obvious thing out of the way first? So it's our political party. We're in the middle of a political shitstorm. Everybody's on Google refreshing the US election every 10 minutes. And then Trump a second ago tweeted "Stop the count." And no, you cannot stop the count. You cannot do that because you realize you're going to be, you might not win. Because at the moment, I think Biden is winning in Nevada. We actually had a call on Tuesday, didn't we, guys? Where we were like, hopefully there'll be a result and that this is going to be topical for our show. We didn't think it'd be like a tit in the breeze still.
Yeah, we thought because there was loads of people. There was loads of comedians who'd gone on Twitch or YouTube, used their channel to do like an all-nighter. You could watch the BBC or RTE or whatever, or you could like hang out with a comedian all night, get their reaction to to the unfolding events. And we thought that's not for us. We'll wait a couple of days. Surely to God it will be settled, and then we can just wisecracks and laughs. And that's not the case.
We're in the same situation. Yeah.
We've still no idea what's going on.
I used to say stop the count in maths class in school all the time. It didn't work there either. So I don't know what Big Don and myself have in common, aside from we both have the same barber, but he hides his baldness better than I do, I think.
I mean, no, he doesn't, mate. I mean, you look like a respectable member, a mostly respectable member of society.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it by correcting yourself.
Like, if you put Donald Trump and his spitting image puppet side by side, you're more likely to want to elect the spitting image puppet, I feel, because it looks like it's probably more trustworthy and human. So, see, that's the thing. I don't like doing that. I personally in comedy don't like attacking the look of another person. So I am
freaking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am sorry I did that with Donald Trump. I feel though like a lot of people wasted time attacking the way Donald Trump looked, like because either his hair, his tan, or his tiny hands. Now let's just be honest, right? If you were invisible, okay, and you were in the White House, before you did anything else to try and, I don't know, save the world, it's on your conscience, whatever you do to save the world. If you were invisible, the first thing you would do is definitely have a touch of his hair because it looks like golden retriever soft. Like, oh, his hairstyle's so bad. I don't care. It looks like it might be quite comforting. Like you'd like to cuddle up with it and you're on your own one night and there's a storm outside. Yes. Yeah. And the thing about him and his tiny hands is tiny hands are just
Pringle. He can get the last Pringle. You know what I mean? In the big
tube.
Useful. Pardon?
They're useful and they're adorable. Like, you don't slag him off for tiny hands. You've just made him really cute. That's
he went completely wrong on his campaign. He should have had like little things with his little hand, like stroking a baby koala, all this sort of stuff. And then late at night, he could use his little hand to make everything look really big, which would get the male vote. So,
I mean, if he just, I don't know, did a couple of like hand modeling adverts on television,
I'd love
Biden wouldn't be.
If someone
Biden
gave
have
him
nothing.
Because Biden has big hands, as we all know, and he'd be out of the running.
I'd love if Donald had if someone gave him like a Republican gigantic foam finger, and he was like, "Do you think that's funny? Do you think that's? Are you kidding me? That's so insensitive." Biden was a little ride when he was in his 20s. Can we just appreciate how much of a ride Biden was when he was in his 20s?
Oh wow, that's a very serious.
Okay, female audience. He was a little ride.
I'll go with Ben. Yeah, absolute ridey Biden, as they called him in college.
Ridey Biden. Surely it would be Joe Ryden. What kind of? Why is it taking a writer's room before we got there?
I don't know. His marketing was really, really weird. It wasn't good, but yeah.
Not to be confused for the village bicycle. It's more like you'd ride him though.
You'd give Biden an ride,
Oh, so yes, it is Thursday, the 5th of November, and they're still deciding the votes. Biden is taking the lead at the moment, but they could still go either way. And yes, so our show tonight is remember the 5th of November. It's based on, Guy Fawkes, and we want to do like a political party, an anti-establishment party. So we're going to get started on what people are drinking. So Keego, what are you drinking tonight for your political party? Did you get something from the Doll bar? The Doll makes their own brand of wine, by the way. I found out they have their own bottle of wine and a picture of the doll on the bottle of wine.
I didn't.
Did anybody know that?
I didn't know that, but I have a goblet of truth here. This is a cheeky gin and tonic. It's not a quad like episode 1 because that ruined me for a week. So this is just a regular gin and tonic to start, and then the main course is over here. You'll hear cracking in a few seconds.
Cracking? Why cracking? I'm so curious.
You'll see. Gotta keep everyone interested.
Gotta keep it loose. Gotta keep it.
Or I hadn't thought it through. One or the other.
And Ben, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? Well, it's Guy Fawkes. Well, in the United Kingdom, it's Guy Fawkes night. And before it became commercialized and all about scaring dogs, the 5th of November was the number one anti-Catholic holiday in the calendar. That's what it was all about. It was showing your disapproval, bonfires, fireworks, showing your disapproval of a Catholic plot to kill the monarch and all the upper echelons at an opening of Parliament in England in 1605. I have a feeling now it would be something which is celebrated, but at the time, people were like, bloody Catholics. Anyway, so I'm drinking some red wine, the blood of Christ. I'm just going to swill in it.
Peace be with you. Peace be with you.
Got it as a gift today, which is great. That's even better than going out and going to Centra. Oh my word! I got it from my. I was going to say sister-in-law. That's not the case because I'm not married yet. My kind of sister-in-law. It was my girlfriend's sister. Gave it to me as a gift today. When we're looking after our wonderful little nephew. And if I can now, like any good politician, having received a bribe of wine, can I give a shout out to her new business over the?
Totally. That's what we're here for.
She is one of the people that runs a new business selling ethical and sustainable and inexpensive baby clothes and baby accessories and garments. It's called My Little Pear Tree. If any of the less than 10 people watching this live stream have a baby and you're looking for a nice alternative, especially now when like baby stuff is it's technically not essential items, I understand. I think that's the case. Maybe not the stuff to feed a baby, but like, accessories like presents, like toys and clothes for babies, I think is deemed
non-essential.
Non-essential. You can't buy that. Check it out on Instagram, the website. I think it's on Facebook as well. My Little Pear Tree. And thank you very much for the delicious blood of Christ.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Because we all know that babies are killing the environment with all their clothes. So it's great that someone has stepped up and stopped the little people burning a whole ozone layer with their onesie.
But like
onesie is just a funny word. Like it's just like I mean, what you said was hilarious, but also onesie, just the word itself is just fucking funny. Like it's
we might have a onesie party. Who knows, guys? Who knows? Has anybody written in about where they're from? Anybody who's joining us? Who's here? Who wants to say hello?
We've already shown them that Neil O'Dwyer says, good evening.
Good evening, Neil.
Oh, he's over on the YouTube. Oh, brilliant.
Thanks for joining us.
And then on Facebook, D Dooley, just give a little wave, little yellow Simpsons hand wave.
Little hand wave.
Yeah. We're delighted to have you here. I guess we are going to get cracking on the crack hat. That's why.
Oh wait, can I say my joke that I wrote about America?
I would love to hear it. Yes, please.
You can tell that I haven't gigged in a while because I've not. My segue isn't like the movement from one thought to another. I've just went. Can I? I wrote a joke. Can I say a joke?
Totally. Do it. By the way, you just built up the momentum, so I can't wait. Can't wait to hear it.
Okay. So it used to be that it was America. Fuck yeah. Now it's America. Fuck's sake.
Or America? Fuck no.
No. Do you know what? It didn't need that. I worked it out. It was didn't.
I ruined it. Did I ruin it? Ben, I'm so sorry. Ben. Forgive me, Ben.
I liked it so much that I wrote it down and I'm going to steal it. So, yeah.
And then sell it to Jack Whitehall. Perfect.
The millennial answer to Michael McIntyre. Jack Whitehall.
Sorry, we got Big Joe Shepherd. Hey lads.
Hey Joe, how you getting on? Hello.
You always know somebody means business when it's the laughing face but to the side. That means they're really laughing.
That's a ruffle, if anything. That's a good ruffle or lamau.
Neil O'Dwyer says he's in lockdown England.
Oh, we are here in lockdown Ireland.
This is day one, isn't it? Day one of English lockdown.
Yeah, it started properly, midnight last night, yeah.
Oh.
It's tough, man. Yeah,
he can't go and buy baby clothes in Tesco because it's not essential, but it's awful.
There was, I don't know, did you see there was footage of a guy going into I can't remember what it was, like a Tesco or something like that. I mean, something else was obviously going on, but going fucking mental because they'd like cellophane wrapped up all this baby clothes stuff, and he was just like ripping it apart and going, "It's children's clothes." And
there's no need for that kind of drama.
I don't know. Maybe the kid had shit itself, like properly shit itself, and he was like, "I can't. I
don't get paid enough for this." Yeah. Sorry, V for Vendetta is based on remember the 5th of November. That's when they have that as like their opening line. I remember, so in my secondary school, on the last day of school, we stayed out all night. We met the next morning and we were in our uniform, but we had like V for Vendetta on our shirts, but we all bought the masks. So imagine the last day in school and you're from first year to 5th year and you see all these girls that have been out for 24 hours in masks, identical masks, marching towards the school. How terrifying would that be? This was an all-girls school as well, by the way. There was no lads involved in this, but that was a pretty badass moment.
What's the name of the school there? Just to
I can't disclose for obvious reasons. It was the Party Tit High School.
I mean, we haven't decided what next week's party is going to be. I think maybe like a Greece style 1950s like high school party.
I'd love
Party
that.
Tits High School.
Yeah. Oh my god, we could have like a prom or something, or like, you know, when you have your what is it, your high school reunion. Okay, let's move on. Right. So I have the Party Tit or the crack hat this week. And yes, it is the hat from episode 1, because that's our budget, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start off. I'm going to ask the guys a question, and the first question that I have is, have you ever done anything illegal? Also, if you're watching the show, please write in the comments. We'd love for you to get involved, but I'm going to ask the guys, have you done anything illegal ever?
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to put it in the comments, you know, keep name like anything that the police can trace back.
Use allegedly at the front of your sentence, so that gets you out. I used to watch Law and Order SVU, and it was always
don't get away with
allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, has anyone done anything illegal, or are we all saints in this chat today?
You said that like such. Like a sitcom, like undercover police person, like just hey guys, anyone
dark.
I don't know.
Guys,
anyone
here's
ever done anything illegal?
Yeah, like I'm wearing a wire. Has anyone done anything illegal?
So here's a laugh, guys. Code red. Anyone ever done anything illegal?
Anything cool?
Why are the two guys? Why are they talking down their shirts? What's happening?
I'm talking to my bra. It's the Party Tits. I'm talking to my bra. I think, like, it's so funny. There's so many rules in Ireland where you do illegal things. Like, eating potatoes on a Sunday is illegal. drugs was legal up until a certain point, and then Miggle D. Higgins, who, I'm sorry, can we just talk about Michael D. Higgins? I know there's shite happening in America at the moment, but we're just so blessed to have him. Like, we're just so blessed.
So,
he's so good to us.
I'm gonna give you a gift, Ailish. I'm here doing all the controls for all the special effects on the show, and rather than share a picture of Michael D, the president of Ireland, StreamYard, which we're using to come into your front rooms, has the option where you can pick a logo and have it in the corner. So for you, our logo for today is a picture of the cutest man alive, the president of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins.
I just love him so much. He's just so happy. Like, he queues for the ATM. He takes so many photo shoots of bicycles. When his dog died, the country mourned, more than fungi. People are like, Sheila, no! I love him.
Does he not look a little bit disappointed in that picture? Like, you've just, to quote a theme from previous shows, shat in his letterbox or something. He's just kind of got that exasperated kind of, oh, for fuck's sake, he's done it again. That kind of.
No, he always looks really noble. He looks like he's composing poetry in his head every time he leaves his house.
I bet he's doing dirty limericks. There once was a man from Nantucket who thought his phone was yeah. Sorry, Ben, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's fine. I do shit in a bucket. I will always stop talking for shit in a bucket. That's
that's a t-shirt right there. That's this week's t-shirt.
That's on the Verth family motto. It's in Latin. We will always stop for shit in a bucket.
So we lost Keego there. We lost Keego to laughter.
I wasn't ready. Jesus.
Have you met Michael D? Did you, Ailish, did you say you met Michael D?
I met him. So basically there was this thing on Facebook going, do you want to be invited to the president's garden party? And I was like,
that sounds legit. I mean, that sounds like a fishing boat, mate.
But I was like, hang on, what if it's real? Like, what if I get to go to Ars Nocturne as a guest? So I filled in my name, filled in all my details, wore a green dress, because if you're going to Ars Nocturne, you wear the fucking green dress, and shook his hand in the main room. And I also shook Sabina's hand. And then I just completely, I shouldn't say this, completely unattended, unsupervised, I went around to the gardens, I went around to the cow farm, I went into the bunker of Ars Nocturne and had a look at their De Valera shrine that they had. And I was completely unsupervised walking around. Like, if that was America, you'd be fucking shot. Like, there'd be a security guard in seconds. In Ireland, it's so lax, it's so laid back. I love, a guy once showed up in Ars Nocturne, and Miggle D was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm just really unhappy with the way the country's being run. And Miggle D's response was, put the tea on, go on, sit down. Because he wants to feel like he's connected to the people, like he's approachable. Yeah.
He is a lovely man. Yeah, I was worried there was a bit of silence as you were going, without permission, and nobody knew. But then there's a little gap, and I said, what is she going to say? What did she do in Ars Nocturne? But no, it was all very nice. So that's very.
It was all very wholesome. Yeah, that's my brand. Which leads me on to, so we'll come back to the legal thing. But if you were president of the world.
Well, actually, sorry. Before we go into the next thing, Neil O'Dwyer, watching on YouTube, has in fact done something. I'm not going to throw the book at that guy.
You mad bastard. I'm very, very sorry. I promise. You know what? Peace be with you. Christ's blood be with you, and you are forgiven. That's
no wonder they locked you down with behavior like that, Neil. It's just terrible, terrible stuff.
Terrible stuff.
I mean, what he doesn't mention is that he killed a boy outside of a school. So, I mean, that's...
Driving at 31 miles per hour, yeah.
But we told people not to put anything incriminating in the comments, so I can understand why he...
I can appreciate that, yes.
Can I just say, I made that up, just like with all the disinformation which is flying around globally right now, let's not use this as a platform to, have a guy hounded for, having run down a boy outside of school. Neil O'Dwyer did not do that. He's an innocent, upstanding member of the community. Okay, we're good.
Hang on, he probably didn't do that. He probably didn't do that.
Allegedly, he did not kill that boy outside of school. So
yeah,
purely coincidental.
So yeah, guys, if you were president of the world, what would your manifesto be?
I actually used to do a bit, and my only about this, about being like, if I was president of the world, if I ruled the world, and I stood on only one issue, and then I would get the audience at the end to go, so you're going to elect me? And it was like, it was unanimous. It was like 100% all the time. And my one issue was that, and it's not possible to do it anymore. You'd maybe argue it wasn't possible to do it to begin with. Every DVD or Blu-ray that had a commentary track would also have a second commentary track by Sir Terry Wogan. So you could watch anything you wanted, like anything, like Goodfellas, porn. Those are the two viewing things that came to mind just there: the film Goodfellas and all of pornography. You could have a DVD commentary by Sir Terry Wogan, and people thought that was the greatest idea that they'd ever heard. And
I'm sure Terry Wogan did too. He was just like, I'll be getting paid for it. I'll be getting royalties. So yes.
But you could do it like he does did the Eurovision, where you could hear him getting more and more pissed as he went along the show.
Yeah.
So like, if he is narrating through pornography, by the time you get to the end of it, he would just add so much to the show, with his drunken banter.
Well, that was my favorite thing about when he would do Eurovision, is that you could tell maybe like if there was 30 countries, maybe about like country 16, 17, he would start doing a commentary during the song. Like he would just like press the button and go, she looks like a coal miner in a dress. And then that would be it. And then like, I remember he genuinely, I think, said that about like the Icelandic entry one year. Because I remember watching it with my mum, and my mum going, he's pissed.
You can sometimes hear everything opening in the background. He just stopped pretending. It was very funny.
Keego, what would your manifesto be?
Well, I don't know. I think every day should have a theme. And I think that's what we're missing. No, I haven't thought this through entirely, and maybe I should have before I published it.
Sure. But what politician has ever thought anything through? So
fair point. I might be running the world by the end of this, but I think kind of Mickey's out Monday. That's the theme for Monday. Tits out Tuesday. Wank on the bus Wednesday. Thursday, obviously. And I haven't figured out something for Friday. And then you take the weekend off because you got to relax. So I haven't really thought it through. But I think a theme.
The creation of the world. When God made the world.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, on Monday, everyone gets their Mickeys out on the way to work. Sure.
I have so many questions. If this was a husting, if you were genuinely standing, I would have so many questions.
If you thought me seeing a man in a tutu was the first time I saw a dick, I'll tell you another time. So I was on the Lewis, and there was this man in a suit, and he had zipped his bollocks into his suit trousers and would have it sticking out. And if you were sitting at a lower level and he was standing beside you, that was your fault. And he would regularly
multiple times.
Yeah, so it was his favorite activity to be on the Lewis with a newspaper. So if like an older generation came by, he'd just get the newspaper and be like, "Oh God." But if it was like, if it was girls that he was interested in, he'd be like, "I'm just going to go over and stand where they're sitting down."
Could I just ask one question? Ailish, how many times were you on the Lewis with this guy?
Once, but I heard he's a regular.
Oh, okay. Every Monday at 9:05, he gets the Lewis to town.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's bollocks is out. Like, it literally was like, and you could like put it back in. And like my mate was like, he's always like that. I don't know why. Like, he's nothing to flaunt. And like, it looked so painful. But he was busting. Ben, your face is a picture. You are in shock right now.
I've never, I mean, I'm sure, Keego, you've had the same thing where every now and again a bit of an overzealous shake at the urinal and you stuff it back in and you have to be a little careful. But all I can think of is that scene in the film There's Something About Mary where
That was it. That was exactly it.
And
yeah.
it was I can look at like a horror film where they're like slicing up a nun. I mean, that's you know what I mean. Like that's not. That's weird that my go-to place to describe horror was that. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm fine with it. Like that. Like the film, There's Something About Mary. In the first 10 minutes, where he's just like zipped, and it's just like bubbles of bollock skin hanging out of the
horrible.
Tang.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my god, that was
not easy. It's not easy being a man. Look at how disappointed Miggledy looks at this conversation. It's terrible.
Sorry, Miggledy.
But no, it's not easy being a man. There's a lot of things happening that, you know, especially when you add in speed of any sort of procedure, we're not very good at. And so the zip up of the jeans is a tricky one that we all navigate. And certainly the older we get, the more difficult it is to keep everything in there.
But like, surely if you're commando, it's tricky. But if you've got boxes in, what are we missing? What am I missing here? So let's move swiftly on.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a strange concept.
I'm gonna dive back into the Crackhat. So this is there any time that you stuck it to the man?
Ooh.
Anytime that you what?
Nothing. What?
This is the kind of grade A entertainment people are tuning in for. Vague Wi-Fi lag and people going, fucking what?
Yeah, I think I heard it, but I'm not sure. No, everyone experiments in college, so I stuck it to the man there in Freshers Week in Trinity.
I stuck it to the man, and like, is it all right? Is it all right that you stuck it to the man, but you didn't realize you were sticking it to the man?
Yes.
Does that still count? I was walking home drunk one night when I was a student, and really needed a wee, so had a wee, and then only realised after I was kind of finishing off that it was the doorway of the Sheriff Court on the High Street of Edinburgh, and I was like, oh wow, that felt dangerous.
What, like, for those who aren't Scottish, what is that, like a very political building? Is it a very
it's a court?
Building?
I mean, like, no, it's not like a court as in, you know, like new apartments that have just opened up. It's like an actual, court.
Oh,
yeah, no, it's not. Oh, Acacia Court. It's the nicest new residence in Dublin. Like, no, it's the sheriff. It's the actual fucking. Have you been? You know, it's the place that we would take Neil O'Dwyer. Because he'd done 31 in a 30 zone, and well, actually, if he's from England, he wouldn't. We'd have to go down to Liverpool or something like that. But you know, like it's that kind of thing. And I didn't realize, but nothing happened. But I felt secretly after I'd done it, like, yeah.
Look at this man. I also love your Dublin accent, by the way.
Yeah. Did the danger spur you on, Ben?
No, I didn't need a wee for the rest of that night, so that was
That's taste for danger then.
Got a clear run tonight, got it all done at midnight. I was grand for the rest of the day. It was grand.
Well, no, because I got so I'd done that, and I got I did get paranoid the next again day that I thought that what I'd done was illegal, was like deathly illegal, and that they were going to, the police were going to. I had like it was a hangover, but it was a major hangover. So there was the paranoia that went with the hangover, thinking like, so it wasn't just about should I get like McDonald's or Domino's. It was should I get McDonald's or Domino's or a solicitor. Like it was that level. Of like I was scared that they were going to come for me because like presumably these buildings have, you know, like cameras, security cameras, and like having a piss against a government building is probably not on.
It's like, yeah, fuck you.
I love that. Yeah, we're not sure. Probably, but we're not sure. You know.
Allegedly, I pissed against a government building. Allegedly.
No, and it wasn't me. It was a friend called Ken Dearth. So
Ken Dearth.
My favorite thing. So my favorite thing about what we do is that Keego every now and again will put a comment into either YouTube or Facebook to kind of to G along people commenting so we could put them on the show. So I think it's just worthwhile that Keego has just went, hey, Ben pissed on the courthouse in Edinburgh. So even if I was able to go, hey, no, do you know what? I made that all up. It's me. Fucking hell, Keego. Like,
I forgot it was me logged into YouTube. I thought it was my other account. So this is completely ruined. If the same message comes through again, it's completely coincidental.
I'm standing in the dock and then they bring on the star witness and it's a mate. And I'm like, this is...
Or they just screenshot that bit. They just screenshot that. They go, what do you have to say to this, Ben? Look, it's on YouTube. Or,
why would they say it like a sarcastic, like schoolgirl? So, Ben, what do you have to say to
it's
this?
Casual Friday, obviously, in the court. It's Casual Friday. But it would be funny if they go, you know, the way you drive through the toll bridge and they take a picture of your reg plate and they send it to you in the post going, you haven't paid this. Imagine, like 4 days later, you get something in the post and it's you pissing up against the courthouse in Edinburgh going, we have you here. And then you can, that'd be brilliant.
Start of an Edinburgh show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like me defending my innocence. That's perfect. Now, if there's only an Edinburgh festival to go back to, then I smell awards season.
There better be. It'd want to come back. All right, so are we ready to tuck back into the crack out one more time?
Well, have you broken the law, Ailish? Have you broken the law? Sorry, have you broken the law? Let's look. We are merely the starter to your life of filth and wonderment. So
I may have had a potato on a Sunday. I may have jaywalked.
Pickledy is watching.
Sorry. I keep forgetting what side he's on. Also, this looks like he has feet.
Look at his tiny little feet.
Tiny little feet. Niggledy, just like...
Well, that looks perfectly
in keeping. He looks
He's
naked.
not wearing any trousers. What a filth bag.
He's the president of Ireland. He can do what he wants.
That's President Michael D. Higgins on Zoom. You know, he's done the suit, and then some of these little just pants, like underweared legs dangling down.
Did I wear cream pants again to work? Oh no. If you had strict parents, you were kept in line. So no, unfortunately, I'm very boring. I was too scared to do anything illegal. I just invaded or went into Ars Neutron completely unattended. Well, I did see a woman piss on the street though. She did something illegal. So this was in like years ago.
You never leave the house without somebody getting their bollocks or their flaps out. I mean,
I know.
I'm beginning to think it's you.
I should do a walking tour. No, she so it was late at night and it was on the Halfpenny Bridge and it was beneath the light and a girl was just squatting, pissing, and she was like, "I'm so sorry," like screaming it at everybody that came past. And I was like, this is a really golden moment for you.
It's just the eye contact is so necessary, you know. It's just stop staring at me. Just finish what you're doing.
I saw something like that as well. There's a street in Edinburgh, like a really long street in Edinburgh called Leith Walk. It leads from the main city of Edinburgh down into the area of Leith. It's 2 or 3 miles. It's on a hill. And I was walking behind this guy who was kind of like swaying about. And he was walking kind of bandy-legged, and there was a trickle of liquid coming from coming between his legs as he walked up the street. And I was like, I don't know what's happening here. I'm going to try and overtake him to see, but also just to get, it had street craziness written all over it. And this was at nighttime, by the way, I should say. This is like 2 or 3 in the morning. This is not like 1 p.m. Although it probably would have been 1 p.m. if Ailish had been involved, because people are getting their bits out in the centre of towns fucking whenever
I must have been nearby. I must have been visiting, yeah.
And I saw what he'd done, is that he was obviously determined to get home, needed a piss, and there was a drunk logic within his brain, so that he'd balanced his knob on the crux of his zip, so it was kind of spurting out just a little ahead of him walking, and so it was the most effective and functional thing that I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, wow, guy must be an engineer. It was great.
That fellow was the Steve Jobs of public urination. Just an absolute genius.
Innovative. Love it. I really don't want to get off this topic, though. It's
so, Miggledy, have you ever urinated in public?
Well, Keego, have you ever seen someone piss themselves in public or urinate in public? You must have.
I can't believe that we've advertised a political show and people may have tuned in for some tart satirical comment about the global issue, and this is where we are.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen somebody piss in public? So,
Keego, it's illegal.
Answering the hot questions, during this political climate, it's very highbrow. But no, I'm trying to remember that there was a friend of mine who was caught short outside of a nightclub in town, in Harcourt Street. Friend, yeah, allegedly, it was a friend. But on Harcourt Street, D2. That shows you how long ago it was. I don't know if that's still open. But across the road, there's a police station, and we were. Quite drunk. I believe the drink of that night, which ended my drinking career, was double vodka and West Coast cooler. So that didn't help life. But he was caught short allegedly, and he goes in across the road to behind a concrete shed. So if you're ever up and down Harcourt Street in Dublin, you'll see it. And he's there going away, and we're around the corner, and we can see the person leaving the concrete hut and walking around to him, and the guy walking around is carrying a gun, and we're like, what goes on in there? It's one of these kind of Northern Ireland in the 80s guns the British had, and he's walking around, and he turns around to him. He doesn't point it at him, but he turns around and talks to him, and my mate's just holding it there going. He's not stopping. He's going, right?
He's midstream. Okay,
he's committed now, you all right? And the man goes, could you afford to lose an inch off that? And he goes, what? And he pulls down this Velcro pocket here, and a big Garda Special Forces badge starts shining in my mate's face. And it's like, this stream is getting cut off. The dam is put on, bang, zipped it up, no bollocks out. So he wasn't your man on the Lewis. And I've never seen him run so fast. So I didn't actually see him urinating, but I did see him shit himself. Yeah. Allegedly,
that's funny that he was doing that, and a guy with a big gun came over, and he was like, I'm not stopping. And then he had like a law enforcement badge, and then that was the shit. He went, oh, yeah. That's funny.
Like, must be a toy gun.
Yeah. That's Ireland for you. They can wave a gun, but they need some sort of backing to use the gun, and then that's what's scary.
Yeah, I need some identification before I stop urinating on a public building, please. Thank you. I know my rights.
So we're gonna roll on to the next question. One of the questions is from the crack hat. What's the deal with Catholics, guys? What is the dealio?
Well, I think the main issue. I think stamina is the main issue. Obviously,
I feel I've stuck it to the religious man. So I was raised Catholic, but went to a Protestant girls' brigade, and I didn't know any of the prayers. They sang "Yes, Jesus Loves Me" from The Bodyguard. And I was like, what is this? And then only years later to find out it was a Protestant Girl Guides. And I asked my parents, like, why did you let me go? Like, my parents were like, you just really wanted to go. You're just like, please, can I just go? On every Tuesday night, you just go to Girl Guides with your neighbors and with your friends and your sister. And you just really wanted to go. So we just let you. Like, it's, if you wanted to change religion from Catholic to Protestant, you could. We support you. But... And I remember just sitting there being like 7 or 8 going, God, I don't know any of the prayers. I feel so stupid. It was a totally different religion.
You just saw the word brigade and you were like, it's for me. I want to see what this is about.
It's a bit like heroin when you're young. All your friends are doing it and you kind of go, yeah, I want to go to girls' brigade. They wouldn't let me in. But...
It was like Scouts. for girls, but yeah, that's the only religious time I stuck it to the man.
well, the best thing we're talking about, what's the deal with the cat? Like the funny thing is when you're at a wedding and it's like a Catholic marrying a Protestant, and it comes to that moment after the priests have tried to, you know, show that we're all friends and do the service together. It's time for the Lord's Prayer, and you can see everyone standing up, and the older people are, certainly the Protestants are kind of going, we could do this all night. We could do this Lord's Prayer for a month if we needed to. And the Catholics are sweating. And they're going, Jesus, we know they have an extra verse. We don't know the dance. What's going on?
We don't know the handshake.
Yeah, and then it gets to the end. It's like, and then forever and ever and ever and ever. And the Catholics are going, forever and ever, forever. Still standing up, forever and ever, forever. So that's the best bit of being of looking on in religion. I'm a Scientologist myself, so you know, until Jesus stars in a good film, I won't be following him. So decent beard on him though.
Wait a minute, we're not letting that go, are you?
No, I am.
No, you're not. Okay,
that's purely coincidental.
Okay, that was just an accident. That was just everyone was having a laugh. It was like,
I remember
Girls Brigade.
Years ago, I was an extra in a show on RTE. I think it was like Gabriel Byrne was in it, and it was like a 1950s crime thing where he was a detective. I forget the name. And so it was in a nunnery. He was kind of identifying like where some of the kids were being adopted by Americans, and he was tracing that. And I was like, mate, you're going to be a while. It's also on the nose in terms of Irish history. So I was dressed as a nun. And this was filmed in UCD Hollows, which is where they study religion. And nobody, like, I wonder if they even put up a sign, because like when I walked down the hall dressed as a fake novice nun, they gave me a wide fucking berth. People were just like, oh my God, it's a nun. Like I was wondering, why is everyone staying away from me? And then I realized it's because I'm dressed as a nun. And then you don't know the awkwardness when you see a real priest and you're dressed as a fake nun. You're like, you forgot the secret handshake. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, do I say peace be with you, or do I do this, or what do I do? It's really awkward when you meet a real priest and you're dressed as a nun.
I think the reason that people were avoiding you is, unbeknownst to you, as there always is in your life, there's just like a guy with a bollock out just following you around, or like a guy dressed in a tattoo. He's got his cock strapped to his forehead, or so. I don't know what the fuck happens to you when you leave the house. But stop.
Ben, you don't want to know. If I had a GoPro on me every time I left the house, I don't think the GoPro would survive. That's what I think.
Could I just tell you guys the greatest thing in the world has just happened, because Facebook puts the captions up. Sure. And it was auto captioning that last conversation, and it just said that people, paraphrasing, there was a guy walking behind you with his coat hanging out. So I don't know if Zuckerberg is censoring.
So wholesome. That is so wholesome. We need
like his yellow raincoat just hanging out. You know, it's awful.
And then Ben, what about those Catholics? You
yeah, well, sorry. So I was the one who put that into the crack hat, because were you guys raised Catholic? Just I want to understand if we can find some common ground here.
I was raised Church of Ireland Protestant, I believe.
Okay, so with Catholics, it is amazing how that education, that upbringing, gets into your head, and it affects your outlook on stuff. So like a couple of days ago, I got this jacket out, and I was like, I'm going to dress as a sassy politician for the stream, and I found €10 in the jacket. And I don't know if you've ever found €10, or it's some money in a jacket, you've forgotten about it, you haven't worn it in a while. Usually, I'm led to believe people find this a joyous occasion. This is an amazing thing that's happened. Not me. I suddenly I got like a bit of Catholic guilt about it. Like, I've found this money and I'm like looking at it, and then suddenly a voice in my head is like, Who do you think you are, just forgetting about a tenner? Business going well, is it, Alan Sugar? Yeah, fucking. And it just turned into like a whole psychodrama. Like, I just, like, I'm looking at this thing, and everyone else who finds a tenner is going, oh, maybe that's great, brilliant, okay. And then it's like, and you know why you forgot about it? It's because you drink. You're a drinker, Ben Fair. Because apparently my conscience is a fucking Irish mother from the 1950s. Like, you know, like, it's just like in my head. You know, there's, you know, when people have like a devil and an angel on their shoulder. Like, I've got a devil, and then there's a woman with a rolling pin waiting to kick the shit out of me for coming back. For the public.
I don't have an angel or a devil. I have my party tit and my sensible tit.
Branding. That is funny and disgusting. Like, you just like slung them back and over. Like, that's
like
it's like you're in the wild, wild west. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. No.
What are you doing, Ailish? That's
this bra's just working overtime. I don't know about your bras, but like.
So that's my deal with Catholics. That's it's, I don't know.
But that was like Guy Fawkes. Was he Catholic? He was trying to overthrow the
yeah, it was a so in Britain it was a Catholic plot when Scotland and England began to share a monarch. There's a whole history lesson. I'm not going to go into it here because that kind of chat doesn't happen at a party. But on the death of Elizabeth I, the King of Scotland was invited to be also the King of England, and he brought with him a more severe form of Protestantism that was already in England. And so a lot of Catholics were like, okay, well, this looks like it's going to be bad news for us. Let's kill him. Let's kill everyone we know. So Guy Fawkes was the leader of a band of Catholic rebels from the north of England, and it was bad news. It was bad news. So you know what, this idea of like having the guy on top of the bonfire, that originally was actually Guy Fawkes, or most popularly, it was the Pope. That's how people celebrated bonfire night, fireworks night in Britain, by dressing a guy, just dressing like a scarecrow up as the Pope, having a laugh as it burnt. I mean, you can understand why Britain is in the is in the Brexit stance that it is, because that's how everybody's.
It's an effigy, isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for earlier. It's an effigy. So that leads us on to our next question, guys. So who would you make as an effigy to put on a bonfire? Keego, putting you on...
You put me on a bonfire? That's a bit harsh.
No.
We barely met.
What do you mean barely met? We have a fucking show together. What do you mean barely met?
Oh my God.
Keego, who would you make an effigy of to put on a bonfire?
I put fucking Ailish on a bonfire. How about that?
Ben is just like, don't be like this. Just don't be like this. Why can't we all just be friends?
No, she was inviting you to state. There was an introduction to your name.
I'm
it wasn't
hosting.
Fucking. Who'd I burn? Keego. I don't know. Keego.
I'd fucking burn him while he's in the room. I'll burn him.
Jeez, got really harsh there for a second. Episode 3. Jesus. I'm not going to get like this.
There might be an episode 4. I'm just talking to our people right now. No, Keego, who would you make an effigy of to burn?
I like. You kind of got the usuals, you know. You're kind of your hardcore religious figures. Your Hitlers, your Gandhis, your Britney Spears,
your Biebers.
Yeah, but you kind of go, well, you know, it's a special kind of death, burning. You know, it takes time. You've got to hate someone, and finally, my lack of hatred for humans disappeared at the same speed my hair did. So, I don't actually to put this on its head. I don't want to burn anyone, but you know, if you ever in episode 4 ask a question, who do I think should be soundly beaten? That's a separate issue. Yeah, but no,
okay.
My old headmaster.
This is quite the turnaround. Let's go from who do we want an effigy of that we can burn to who actually can we beat the shit out of.
Give a little slap.
Sorry, I appear to have misread the situation entirely here.
No,
yeah,
I think
you thought I was going to burn you.
I think we got close to something that you want to actually beat up your headmaster. I mean, that's.
Look, I'm not one to hold a grudge. You know what I mean. But his address I will leave in the comments section, and if everyone does end up shitting in his letterbox, then that's purely up to these people, these beautiful people.
Yeah, Keego, it's kind of against Keego's brand. Keego would kind of shit in someone's letterbox rather than make an effigy of them and burn it.
Too much effort in effigies, yeah.
We all know that we have nearly convicted felon Neil O'Dwyer watching on YouTube. So let's just get him. I mean, he's already going to the stocks with a 31 and a 30 tone. Let's just get him to fill a burlap sack full of doorknobs and smash a guy's teeth out. Let's do that.
Let's get him convicted. He's got nothing to do. He's locked down. He's nothing to do. So let's just get him convicted of something.
So that's Ben. That's how you'd make an effigy of, would it?
What? Who? Sorry.
Neil Dwyer.
No, he's a good laugh. He's a good laugh.
Good laugh. Okay.
He's a good laugh.
Who would you make an effigy of then?
Tell you what. Okay, and I don't mean this. I don't mean this in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
But I would make an effigy of Michael D. Higgins because exactly. Ailish would show up. She'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Try and save the effigy from the burning. And then we could get a clock of all of these sexual deviants that seem to expose themselves in the streets to her. We could see them. They'd all show up. They'd be like,
service. Yeah,
I'd make a bonfire so it was a place where the Lewis was definitely going by, and they would be on O'Connell Street because that's where that tutu guy was. And, I'd dress as a nun while I'm doing it to invite this other guy, because I just want to understand why these crazies suddenly just source you as the center point of their day. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's make sure we know we can police their movements.
Sorry, Ben. So this is an elaborate sting operation that you're thinking of running.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't there's nobody that I can really. I mean, you're right. There's the obvious candidates where you just go, nah, these people have got to stop. But I don't want to just be like, yeah, Hitler. If I'm going to leave the house, I want it to be for a good reason. And, and seeing a guy who's stuffed his bollocks out through his zip. I want to see that guy and just go, what's your deal? What are you thinking when you get up in the morning? I want to see that guy.
Has this ever worked? You know what I mean? It's
yes. Has it ever worked?
Have
you ever done that? You ever done that at 10 a.m. and then 7 p.m. you're meeting the date outside of the cinema and you're going to see a film?
It's what's your sample size? Has it worked? Does it work on any specific days in the week or Lewis journeys, or is it just the ones that Ailish is on?
Stay tuned. If I could make an effigy of somebody that I really, really hated, I'm so sorry. I was thinking about it when the lads were talking. It would honestly be Trump, because I just feel that he is the most ignorant politician. Yeah, I said it. And
finally, somebody said it.
Somebody called him ignorant. He's just he's getting away with fucking murder, and he's just so arrogant, and he's just all talk. And yes, he's a businessman and all that jazz, and people are like, oh, he's going to make our country great again. And when he didn't. And, he's really ignorant in interviews, and he's so fucking rude, and he's not forward-thinking. And if I made an effigy of him, I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I can get on this. Totally.
The Facebook auto captions couldn't keep up with you there. So if you could just repeat that a little bit slower.
I do talk really fast. Oh, Irish women. All Irish people talk fast because our families are so big. We need to get a word in at dinner time. Totally. And then, yeah, with that, I guess our show's coming to an end, guys. We still don't know the results of the election. We were waiting here. We were hoping that something was going to come in. Maybe someone would get a notification on Twitter going, oh my God, look who won, look who lost. But yes, do join us again next week, Thursday, same place, same time, 8 o'clock, next show. The theme to be announced, and of course, thank you to everyone who donated to a coffee. If you want to donate, our link is available there as well. And thanks again, guys. You've been amazing. All right, bye everybody. See you next week.